And welcome to yet another 1v1 game of the Turn A, and this time it's gonna be our good old friend Speedfire playing in the Red Franks and New the Death, or as you may better know him, Swiss or Swiss One Shot in this game. And both are very super strong players, as we tend to look, because this is a 1v1 high level plays, and certainly we're gonna kick off with the Speedfire going for 2 depot Rex, and that's it. Interesting, and the Death is opening with 2 depot airports, and cool story so far. Let's see how Speedfire responds. Let's see how Speedfire responds to the pressure the air can put you. The Swiss is responding by making another depot over here, and rightfully so. Since you have an airport, you have a lot of options of placing extra depots. De facto owned, but Speedfire isn't troubled much. He's just going to push with the light infantry. You know. I'm thinking, why he's keeping extra money. He certainly has to have a trick up his sleeve. Yeah, and he decides to go for the airport. He just wanted to get a starting push out. Totally makes sense. Make use of infantry. First, one thing to notice from the Speedfire, I'm learning a lot from him. And definitely one of the strongest players we've seen so far. And, and has a really good overall strategy in plan. So the Death responds by making a barracks himself. Probably needs to defend against something. Makes a Vickers right away. But Vickers won't be matched for armored recon of it, and it will basically boil down to how well the Speedfire will abuse the dodge, but he's choosing to make a fighters of his own. So the Swiss One Shot has to respond with Speedfires, I think. Speedfire is still 1 depot behind, but I think this is the depot. I'm pretty sure it's a depot. Yeah, it's a depot which will go into middle. And if Speedfire gets this depot, it will certainly equalize the game and will spell trouble for the Swiss One Shot. And since he has no ways to equalize it quickly enough, he doesn't have Speedfire well to intercept this depot. And while I'm surprised to see the Speedfire isn't really going to depot and will instead drain the resources for a bit. Vickers are standing there as well. I think this guy is suited to destroy the infantry, and these guys are just pushing into town, trying to kind of lock it up. The UK isn't particularly well at responding now. And the Speedfire will be able to equalize depot by making it 3x3 and actually gaining a little bit of economic advantage by just draining this depot as much as he can. Also taking Vickers out of play as well. Will he chase Vickers? We don't know for sure. It doesn't seem like he's busy macroing something else. So from what we can see, there's an fake everything. He lost 1 infantryman there. And regulars are there, and the Hurricane took out a guy which was supposed to take this out. He pushes with the infantry a little bit closer, maybe trying to take out the Vickers, which I don't think is possible. Yeah, he retreats it that well. The armored recon finally takes out the Vickers and will head back to taking out the depot, and I'm not sure of... Yeah, this infantry dude will be taking out of most of the trucks, and Speedfire decides to save his recon from any fighter bombers or anything and just generally retreats it back. Maybe not. Maybe he's just keeping in the range. Like, can I see the range? No, I can't see really the range. Yeah, he gets back, not allowing the trucks to escape, at least 1 truck. Hurricane's there, so I think the Speedfire is really trying to dodge, and the Swiss One Shot responds by trying to get the recon, and Speedfire really tries to dodge the bullets here. Speedfire kills a lot of fakes and isn't able to capitalize on recon. Did no, he didn't use spy or anything, but he pushed with. He did push with the infantrymen to try to see the recon unit over here. Remember, if the infantry is in range or like getting shot, the Hurricanes will be able to take a shot at these. The Speedfire doesn't try to risk his only recon on the field and retreats it safely. So they come in and will be able to dodge. No. Double bombs make sure a quick finish of that recon. Should be new recon spawning anytime soon. Actually, Speedfire was pretty greedy, trying to take out the most of the flak emplacements, and he kind of placed one bit too far. And while this position is really good for the flak, he doesn't really have a backup to back them up against even a light infantry. The light infantry may even get this flak if he's not fast enough, and Vickers will make sure this artillery isn't really placed well as well. But you know, just in a fast game, it's just I'm just nitpicking. Oh, and the death has upgraded 2 bombers, and he's ready to bomb something. He's ready to get back into the game by equalizing something. So 3 depots versus 3 depots, but the Speedfire drained a little bit more, and now it's gonna boil down whether the Wellington is able to bomb it, and it gets a slow on these flags, but loses the bombers in process, and another bomber comes in, and light infantry making sure to get rid of the flags, and Wellington making sure to get rid of the artillery, and Vickers is just killing infantry. But Speedfire is still in a lead. Has taken 1 bomber out, definitely. And a couple of more things. So if the score between was even, now it's kinda okay. Oh, and the UK, the Swiss is trying to blitz and hopefully take the recon out, but doesn't quite succeed with the task. The flak is still shooting. If there was terror involved, it would be problematic. If the AK works, if the AA works at the infantry, and and a really nice shot from the Sturmgrenadier takes out the nasty, because we could finish off the flak. But I didn't think the Vickers would be living out for long. At least the Swiss one-shot has cleared his depots, and now they're up to... both players are on the even economical advantage. Of course, the Speedfire has a little bit more money, given that he harassed it for quite some while there. So the Swiss one-shot plan is correct. He's trying to equalize. He's trying to do something, force something with bombers. Get this depot, for example. This place isn't secured as well, and most of the Speedfire's anti-air units are locked to secure this depot. And what he has is only like 2 fighters and 2 flags there, and the bombers should be able to get this depot, unless, like in this scenario. Really unlucky for the Speedfire, the Anson doesn't die, and is still able to maybe do some damage, although the bombers suffered serious damage, and there's a couple more fighters incoming, and Speedfire isn't really repaired all that well. I'm not sure if the plane's repaired in there. I think definitely not, but let's see if he retreats it. No, I think he will still try to go with it, despite Speedfire having fighters. He's not actually trying to land them and stop. He's just going to try to tank it up with a couple more Speedfires. On the other side, there's a Speedfire advance, which is really nasty, since this guy is trying to micromanage, and you can see these are moving automatically as well. He's reinforcing city, of course, but no really micro involved. So the magic moment of this is happening here. The Anson is coming in, and I can't really see who's winning, but definitely the Speedfire will get to these couple of these retreating. Oh, the Swiss is going for the big shot. He's trying to kill the airfield, and yeah, Sadly, Speedfire has come up his sleeve and there's no Anson, and this is a really bad situation for the Swiss, although he managed to do something. I'm not sure how he equalized the score. The score is still not suffering enough as it should, given the air battle. Probably he took out a lot of fighters. But from what I gathered, Speedfire only had 3 or 4 fighters, and now he has 1, so 3 fighters up for this. But he did lose some bombers and Speedfires of his own in the process. The Swiss one-shot. This depot has been changing hands and been general harassment object of the whole game. I always thought this depot is somewhat safer than even this depot if you play on that side, but Speedfire shows us that maybe mid depot is kind of easier to secure if the enemy doesn't have artillery. There's a truck coming in from the Swiss, and it's an outpost.
We've almost emptied that depot, sir.
So yeah, Speedfire is not going to try to do the bomber thing more. He's just trying to push the old-fashioned way with infantry, or more Wickers. Probably more Wickers. I don't see units upgrading yet. Oh, he already has heavy infantry ready, so he probably wants to boost his production and get an overall pressure in the mid. And Speedfire is now just like running straight for this depot again. Oh, and Speedfire managed to get one track killed. It was only outpost, so probably not that worth, but still, it won't be able to see a lot of what's going into mid. One Vickers was trying to sneak it in, but Speedfire has an extra shtuka up his sleeve to take care of any random units passing through. So far, the front line has been kind of weird, with Speedfire rotating around here and trying to get a grasp of whether he can take depot, but I'm not sure if it's worth it fighting over a $45 depot. Of course, it's amazing when you can get it killed, since the opponent won't have any incentive to take up the money, and but I think the losses couldn't really offset the amount of damage, like economical. It won't do such an economical damage if you, like, for example, so
Half battle time reached.
if you lose more. Oh, and the bombers are coming in. Oh, no bombers. The Anson could look like bombers, but there is one bomber in there as well. So we should see if the Speedfire is able to split infantry very well. He doesn't have any hardcore AA support, and he should be able to see a bomber now. Bomber 9 coming straight in. And doesn't split the infantry. So the Swiss one shot takes a clear shot. Takes out the recon as well. Has routed a couple of infantrymen. Whoa, the bomber makes a sudden turn. If the flak was in range, it should look like it could get killed. Yeah, so gets a couple of infantrymen. Pretty free damage for the Swiss, and actually he's ahead in the score, which is really close game so far. He's trying to sneak up a couple of guards there, and Speedfire only has light infantry covering there, so he's reinforcing with 3 other guys, just giving it a little bit extra. Not overcommitting. Interesting fact: the flags are being put in behind since Swiss was trying to force something out of this game, and I think now the Swiss is kind of succeeded in forcing something, and at least the game is a little more closer. Actually, it has a lot of guards coming in here, and we'll take the city. And I don't believe the 3 infantry could take it on. Maybe with like an airplane support. Gets a surprise attack over here. Really nice to work so far against the heavy infantry there. Bomber's trying to bomb something. This bomber, I would send it base. I don't really get it while people are using like health-trust bombers. I think the health matters, and if I'm correct, they don't do any repairs. And Vickers gets a cool shot in the middle. Swiss is once again trying to force something with bombers around in this huge map, but as I already said, the bomber was damaged and only took a couple of flak hits and just goes down. That's why it's probably better if the plane is like, if the plane looks damaged, better to just press E, send it back home. It will repair and have more damage. Like for example, these fighters just hanging there as well. I mean, of course you need bomber. Of course he has ammo, but the extra HP makes a lot of difference. If the enemy routes. This depot has been cleared, so this infantry doesn't really matter that much more, except for like holding the city. So they're both working with limited funds, and I think the one goal of Swiss is either to force something with bombers or take this depot, and the goal of Speedfire is either to clear this town and claim this depot, or trying to force something of his own. But I think Speedfire is quite happily to the position where he are. He has a lot of strong units, and he's generally more defense oriented. I mean, the flex aren't really going to kill the opponent straight up, and he still has some fakes going around. Really nice strategy so far. Speedfire is trying to hold up for a while. I'm not sure. This game is quite unique in the sense that no player has an individual goal, and the game is so close that yeah, Speedfire is trying to force here on the bridge, and will the Swiss try to bomb? It could spell trouble for Speedfire here. Yep, he's going Fana, and it's too late. Wow, what an amazing blow! What amazing blow! And although the score is still quite even, I don't get it. Did the Speedfire did so much damage that it didn't matter that much, or was it just infantry? I mean, 15 score plus. Just 15. It looked like he bombed a bunch. He really took out a lot of troops. He tried to force something. Okay, Speedfire has a plan. Has to replenish infantry in the mid. Oh, he did take out the bomber, so probably the bomber wasn't worth all that while. Even if the 6-1 shot made 45 points and lost a 30-point bomber, is only 15 point plus. So it seems like Swiss is trying to force something again. I'm not sure why he's keeping Speedfires like here. Kind of really strange position. Maybe he's trying to do like some mind tricks. His mind tricks are working pretty well. The Speedfire is pretty not placed like flags here and here. And he's invested a lot of money with the flags, which doesn't really matter. Although he relocated flags in really good positions and is constantly micromanaging his fake lines around, and has probably these fighters on keybound as well, as we can see out on the map. It's a really good map, but yeah. So the overall plan. Oh, the guards found one maybe flag. I'm not sure. He managed to sneak one guard out. Speedfire gets a couple of surprise attacks in the middle, since that outpost never really got delivered there, and will the Swiss one shot try to bomb again? That's the question. He has a lot of forces sitting up here. Not a lot of forces, but definitely enough. I'm not sure whether he wants to relocate them. So yeah, the Speedfire's main goal is like to probably go for the tie and try to hold this as much as possible, since no money, no funny. He did manage to clear out the infantry after killing this guy, and 3 versus 1, easy pickings. The recon takes a stab at what's going on. Speedfire won't push the recon out, although I would like. Nah, probably he can't really commit with the flex too far in this base. But taking out recon would be really good overall strategy here. Given that bomber is unavailable, he doesn't want to get his airfield bombed or something like that, since he needs to keep this. Yeah, the Spitfire Swiss one shot committed one Spitfire to doing some particular job. I didn't really notice what did he trying to snipe, but Well, he certainly did snap it. Amazingly enough, Speedfire has gained a lot of points now. Okay, the blitz is on. Try to force something. Not really if it's going to work out, not sure. The bomber's coming in. Just gonna bomb the forest infantry. Nothing really life-changing if he loses the bomber, I think. Well, he loses the bomber and gives like 100 points extra. Wow. And I don't think he gained that much, maybe this recon, okay, but the recon is already retreating and he has to retreat as well since it's 3 versus 3 and has to grab reinforcements. It's really hard to get damage into these fighters, but surprisingly now he gets a free fighter and doesn't die off to deflect. Yeah, the Speedfire had some Stukas already, but there's no recon and those guys will make a quick work of enemy infantry. It seems that those guys don't have a job yet. So overall game, which was a tie, Speedfire slowly trying to get an upper edge in this battle. And Swiss One-Shot slowly realizes that there's not much he can do with this much of a flank placements in mid. There's no way they're gonna be cleared out. It's basically stalling the game. He did try to force something with bombers. It worked out and then it didn't work out and then it worked again and then it didn't work out. He split his forces very well and well, forcing with bombers always require you to hit high value targets and I guess the training hasn't been that good and you know the UK ground isn't able to do much of it as well. Speedfire still making fakes against Spitfires. He lost a couple of his fighters of his own and probably doesn't want to replenish the fighter stack since everyone is in low money and this is like a sitting game. I think Speedfire has no need to attack whatsoever. He could basically retreat to the whole base since nobody will make money of this supply depot and actually use it. And Swiss One-Shot has to bring everything together to make something work. It has basically no chances of working, but well, it's a tourney and somebody has to do something. A really awkward game so far, but truly, like, it was a close game in the middle, and once the Spitfire was able to hold the middle, the bombers did have a less and less effect, and the side attacks didn't work as planned. Especially that if that airfield would have been bombed, if the Speedfire didn't have the magical card saved up for the camo there, it would be a whole lot of different game by now.
2 minutes left.
So 2 minutes left in the game. Recon is ready, and Swiss One-Shot is trying to make something work out of it, but not sure. I think he's just overall stalling the game, and since he's stalling the game, let's just speed up a bit to be able to get action. So yeah, getting surprises attacks here. Okay, the recon is kind of working and kind of not working. He still needs recon. Stuka's taking care of the Wickers, infantry just going into blitz mode. No bombers available for the magical hit to stop. Speedfire uses terror. Behind flags clean up the rest of the infantry and well, it's probably not going to be surrender since we're so close on the clock, but yeah, it's going to be surrender. 45 seconds to the game so far. Really love the fact that Speedfire was able to capitalize, was able to secure his base against Swiss's attempts to do some damage, and amazing overall play, especially in the far depot on the Swiss side. Okay, well, thank you for watching and see you in another game.